Gentlemen. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Hello, I am here to bring you a new deck profile that I've been testing online. I have not been testing this one in person as much because I do not own every card here. But I have been having a bit of fun online. Now, this deck was actually fallen onto my lap by Nathan, aka I believe it's Fiery Dance on Twitter. He had posted about a free thumbnail, and I said, you know what, I'll take it. And in doing so, I've always been interested in this deck. In doing so, I'm locked in. Went straight to testing. So the thumbnail that you guys see for this one is done by him. I'll link his Twitter down below. Incredible thumbnail. It doesn't exactly match what I've done in the past, but I don't give a fuck. It looks fucking clean. So yeah. Anyways, this is a Primite Fiendsmith Bestial deck, more or less. I guess it's more all three, right? So I just kind of want to go over my thoughts on this deck. I've been using this deck a lot on Omega. I typically will learn a deck on Omega to learn how to autopilot it, and then from there, go and test on DB. I haven't had enough time to test on DB, unfortunately, but I climbed up through Plat and Diamond, I think it was Diamond, on Omega. I went on quite a win streak, felt really good. The deck felt strong, very control heavy, big fan. So yeah, so we'll just kind of go over some of the choices here. Some of them are standard, some of them are not, so we'll kind of go over them right now. So we'll start with, obviously, 3 Engraver. Engraver, 1 card starter. 3 Engraver, 3 Tracked, 1 Paradise, 1 Sanct, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lurie. The Sanct, well, first of all, the Tracked, you just want to see your cards as often as you really can. So I opted for 3. The original list that I was shared, shout out, I don't think was playing 3. I have to go back and look. I prefer 3. I think 3 is really good. I think the card's really good. It also comes up when you actually do fusion summon in this deck using this card sometimes. So specifically in this build. So pretty cool. But yeah, the Sanct is also just another 1 card starter. It does lock you into attacking with fiends, but like it doesn't really matter. These are not in order. I don't know why they're not in order. Anyways. And then Lacrima, Lurie, of course. 10 card solidness. And then the next part we have the Primite stuff, of course. So Ether Barrel, 3 Ether Barrel, 3 Load, 1 Drill Beam, 1 more. You could play 2 Drill Beam. There were a couple cases where I wish I had a second one, but in terms of what I was doing with testing, I think 1 was fine because it recycles itself a lot. Ether Barrel is like 1 card starter, basically. You summon Ether Barrel, set load effect, add Drill Beam, and then you have a couple options. You can call load, you can summon, let's say, Dippity, go into Requiem, and pass. Depending, if you get hand trapped or not, total up in the air. And then you can just Requiem on your opponent's turn, because of course you can't use special monsters on the field after you use this, but that only came up once. Actually, a lot of games came up where they would let me get Drill Beam, and then from there they would basically hand trap anything else I did, let's say Tracked or something, and I would literally end on like Barrel, Load, Drill Beam set with a Dippity on field. So the first thing, and then I'll link it off for Requiem. It kind of all depends if you have what's in your hand, really, because if you can't Drill Beam unless you can reveal something, or if you control the normal monster, so you can technically summon Skull and keep it active that way too, or you can summon Dippity, either one. But there are a few games that I won where I literally ended on Dippity Drill Beam, or Barrel Drill Beam with Requiem and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty cool. But yeah, and then Roar's pretty good. Roar's like a 1-card starter as well. If you have nothing on the field, you just summon Dippity and full Fiendsmith combo. It's like fucking sick. And then we have the bestial part. I think this part's really fucking good. From the testing I was doing, the bestials are crazy, man. Like, they're crazy. I won't lie though, I did side out Roar quite a bit, going second. Roar Sanked, and 1 or 2 copies of Tract were the first things I sided out. So these 3 here were like the first 3 I'd side out, if I'm going like second. So 3 Lubellion, of course, 1 Druid, 1 Magnemite, 2 Baldric. Super standard, and then of course the Regain. Regain's also a crazy card. But yeah, sometimes, like, if you really wanted to, you could like activate Regain, banish Requiem, summon Baldric or Magnemite, Requiem gets shuffled back, draw. It pretty solid, man. All the fucking synergies were really good, and I don't really have any issues. And then, of course, you can turn 2 of these into Moon. You can turn 2 of these into Seals. You can literally turn them into whatever you want. And I just think they're really good. Bestials, I think, are solid. Of course, they're not as active now, given that, I mean, Mitsu's still a thing, right? Mitsu's still a thing. Played a few Mitsu on the ladder. Mitsu's still a thing. And then, of course, you have Malice. Malice is still a thing. But typically, you don't activate the Bestials until the Malices have already banished, or you don't activate them at all. You don't activate them at all. You don't know. But yeah, I think and then Jerusalem's a crazy card because you can just crash it and then get rid of something. It's just, the Bestials are so good. Thank God Jerusalem's at 1 though. Holy fuck! If this thing was like last format, we're at 3. Oh my god, this fucking card's crazy. And then the Bellion is just really good because it just searches you. I mean, literally, whatever one you need. So if you're missing one, or if you need Magnemite. And then Baldric, of course, paired with Nib is super good. Baldric paired with Requiem is super good. Anything that you contribute off of is just like so good. And then, of course, like I said before, Regain's a crazy card. Then we played 2 vanilla bricks, sort of. So Summon Skull is a brick, like hard brick. Dippity isn't, because it is a light fiend, which is sick, which is dope. But it's also a level 4, which does work with Lacrima, which is pretty cool. But for the most part, we don't even play rank 4s, so it doesn't really matter. I was testing. I had Baguska in at one point. I took him out, and then I had one other rank 4. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was Tornado Dragon. It just wasn't doing anything. It just really wasn't doing anything. But Summon Skull, of course, if you end up with an engraver on the field, and let's say they stop the princess, or they stop something, I don't know, but Summon Skull, you can summon off of like Load, which then you can overlay into Caesar, so super solid. And then, yeah, so you play 2 vanillas, you either have them in your hand for the drill beam or not, and then like everything kind of, the thing about this deck is that everything recycles, which feels really good. So you have the Fiendsmith stuff that just constantly shuffles back and is just like constantly reusing the same things. And then you have the Primite stuff, which is resetting, re-adding. So you re-add the Ether Barrel, you reset the Drill Beam. It's just so good. And then you have the Regain, which shuffles them back, and then you draw. Like everything just like recycles itself, and it just feels really good. The deck does lose to like more like super heavy meta threats, but in terms of like if you can play the deck really control heavy and you know exactly when to interact with your opponent, I think you can do pretty well for this. This would be more of an OTS championship or like a local level deck. I think this could be a regional level deck. If you know exactly like all the matchups. Like if you know the matchups, regionals for sure. If you don't know the matchups, then you'll probably struggle a little bit. So, but other than that, the rest that we have are just basically You can play whatever hand traps you want. I played the highest impact hand traps. I just played, we played Fua, Perulia, Troll, Nib. You can play Ash. This deck does hurt whenever you do use. This deck does hurt when you get Fua, which is, obviously a problem. But I didn't find it as much of an issue that you can just play around it. You can give them one draw by going into Requiem and then pass. Because now you can just summon Lacrima on your opponent's turn and then dump the trap anyways. So it is what it is. 1 or 2 draws, I didn't really care. Or you can draw yourself. That also works too sometimes. So I think the biggest thing about this deck is that it does just recycle. You can really play whatever hand traps you want, but the hand traps I chose specifically are just, I think personally, the highest impact hand traps of the format right now. Side deck, obviously I don't have one here, because it's up to you. If you're taking this to a local level store, like an OTS championship, or if you're taking this to a regional, or like let's say even a YCS, you would need to know the matchups of your area, of the meta, and then make that call yourself. You, of course, Lancia is always an option. Thrust, you can play Talons, stuff like that. Going first, cross out, called by. That stuff you can play, but it's up to you. So I'm not going to put the side deck on here because it changes. Like my side deck right now changes for my area, which is why my sides always have like lullabies and they always have like these kind of like cool, I think they're cool little tech cards. So sometimes they work. But anyways, extra deck. Extra deck's pretty fun. It's nothing crazy, but we'll kind of go over the normal stuff and then we'll talk about the cool picks. So we have, of course, 2 Desiree. The reason I'm playing 2 Desiree is because most people think you'll be playing 1, right? So if you dump it off the trap, they're going to assume you're going to shuffle it back to be able to summon. So if you make sequence, what'll happen is they won't stop it because they don't know what you're going to make. So usually, if you already have Desiree engraved, they're like, oh, he's just going to make Duke of Demise or something. And then you make a second Desiree, like, shit, it's pretty good. So I just play 2, because 2 is better than 1. Yeah, that's kind of it. And then 2 Requiem, because sometimes 1 gets banished, your opponent stops it and whatnot. I think 2 is super solid. I think if you go like I said, you go like Branded Regain, and then you banish, shuffle back, add shit like that. It is what it is. And then we have the Ugnumde. Jesus, you have the Ugnumde. Oh my god. Anyways, you have this card. So good. It just does so much. That it just does piercing. It does. That's the biggest thing. It brings out Lacrima again. It's just super solid. So I don't think that... I don't think it's terrible. And then you have Sequence, obviously. The 1 of Sequence. There's no need to have more than 1, but 1 is fine. It enables all your fusions and stuff, so it is what it is. And then you have Princess, of course, to facilitate the Caesar. And then here, we're actually playing... oh my god, I always struggle saying this. Rextremende. I summoned this through my ranked testing twice. Both times, it didn't really matter. But, it was fine. It was just a big body, was all. And I summoned it in defense, so it really didn't matter. The effect really didn't come up, the unaffected thing. You could probably cut this for something else. You could probably cut this for IP. I probably would cut it for IP. We'll do it right now. It's just, I really wanted to make it work, and the reason why is because it's part of the Fiendsmith archetype, so I really wanted it to work. But I couldn't. So, as of right now, live footage right here, cutting the IP. Cut the IP. Or cut the IP. Cut the Rexmende. Swap it with IP. So IP, SP, of course, and Caesar. Classic. Chaos Angel, because it's Chaos Angel, you can still make it. Bestial plus Lacrima. Bestial plus Dippity. Summon Skull plus Lacrima. banger. So, you know, I think it's pretty solid. I think it's a really great card. Chaos Angel. Moon, of course, to facilitate the Fiendsmith plays. Seals, because sometimes you end on 2 bestials and you want to end on something else, so you go seals. And then these two I thought were pretty cool, so I decided to make these 2 cards because a lot of the times you will end with 2 monster cards in your spell and trap card zone. Well, what can you do with 2 monster cards in your spell and trap card zone? Make Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon. Now, what does Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon do? It pushes a monster on your opponent's side of the field to the spell and trap card zone. Now, I think that, or anywhere, I guess technically, but I think it's a really good because it plus Lubellion facilitates Zombie Vampire. So a lot of the time, if you have Zombie Vampire and Lubellion, if you have Snake Eyes Doom Dragon and Lubellion, you can make Zombie Vampire, which will mill 4, which will facilitate your Grave having more resources there. And then you free summon, and you can see what your opponent's playing. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, so a lot of the changes I made, mainly, I mean, the IP, obviously, you guys just saw right there. Other than that, I think the deck's really good. It's very low to the ground, very, very control heavy, and I really do like that. Of course, obviously, you have the Fiendsmith stuff, but the Fiendsmith stuff only pops off the one time, and then from there, it's like slower. And I think it's really good. So if anyone's looking for a deck where like it's slow, but it's fun, and it's, I don't know, methodical, I guess is the word. I don't even know if that's the correct word, but it's really like, you really got to know your opponent. You really got to know your plays. If that's a deck you're looking for, I think this is the deck to try. Try it online first, see how you like it. If not, pick up everything. For the most part, I mean, it's not really budget, if I'm being honest, if you're counting the hand traps. And, I mean, of course, the tracks are like 30s, and then Lacrima's probably 32. So I guess really it's not. And then, of course, you have the loads that are 30. So this is a pretty expensive deck. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you guys are having or wanting a deck that's low to the ground but pretty fun in the grind game and has a really good grind game, I would recommend this one 100%, which is basically just Fiendsmith, Primite, Bestial. Like, that's as simple as it gets. 3 engines together. Works really well. Let me know if you guys have any other techs or any ideas down below. And let me know what you guys think of the thumbnail. Show him some love. You know, throw his Twitter down below in the description. But yeah, this is the deck that I've been testing for basically the week. I typically will test a deck every week or a couple decks every week. I'm usually just always testing something if I'm not doing anything. So I'm always having some fun. Right now, working on Vanquish Soul, so keep an eye out for that, as I had pretty good results for locals tonight. So yeah, but let me know any other techs or any other ideas, recommendations down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.